Hello everybody, I wanted to do a reading on the Mueller investigation. There are some press reports that are saying that it is winding down and then others that are indicating that it is not. What we do know for certain is that Paul Manafort has been meeting with the Mueller team on average every 2 days for the last month. Now the question for us today is what information is Manafort providing and how will that impact on Donald Trump. So, as you know, Paul Manafort cut a deal with Mueller and his investigation team that he would, turn evidence over to them in relation to the Trump campaign. Now, the charges that Mueller is investigating is collusion with the Russians and obstruction of justice. Now, Paul Manafort would be bringing evidence in relation to the collusion with the Russians. Now, it could well be that this has to do with the Trump Tower meeting and possible future indictments of Donald Trump Jr. and Jared Kushner, but I'm preempting the reading. Let's ask, will the information Paul Manafort is providing to Mueller bring down further indictments for Trump? Okay, will the information Manafort is providing Mueller, I think it's very significant, okay? My feeling, around the energy is that the information he's providing is extremely significant to the charge of collusion with the Russians and could well be in direct relation to that Trump Tower meeting. Okay, let's see. What information is Manafort providing and will it lead to further indictments around collusion with the Russians between the Trump campaign? Okay, all right, the Nine of Swords, grief and anxiety. I asked, will it lead to further indictments? This is the card of anxiety. This card is unequivocally saying that it will lead to further indictments, or indeed it will contribute to that charge of collusion with the Russians, or the investigation of collusion with the Russians. The Ace of Swords is the truth card, okay? So again, Manafort is providing the truth. He's providing the information that will really lead to this collusion, to proving the collusion, that collusion has existed. So you don't just cut a deal, you don't just meet with the investigation team if you've got nothing to offer, okay? So Manafort has got a lot to offer. All right, and this is the card of being left out in the cold and then seeking to it's very much a financial loss card, and then seeking then to come in from the cold. So it could be that the information that Manafort is providing is around the kind of exchange for the collusion or the help, okay? So it could be that the money that has changed hands, because there is, as we know, Mueller was following the money trail. And, again, deepening this anxiety that the information could produce is loss. It's going to produce loss for someone. It's going to produce loss for Trump. It could produce loss for Donald Trump Jr. and Jared Kushner and those involved in that Trump Tower meeting, which has been very much the subject, very much been at the front of the Mueller investigation, because this is the card of loss and disappointment. The truth coming out, okay. What sort of truth is coming out? It's greed and corruption. This is the card of rampant materialism. This is the card that shows that we're dealing with greed and being chained to greed. It's the devil, okay? So that's the kind of truth. He's bringing forward extremely valuable information that could point to this greed and corruption on behalf of the Trump campaign. And the Page of Swords, the spying card, I often refer to that as the spying card. This deepening this Five of Pentacles, which is around being left out in the cold and then seeking to enrich yourself. Manafort is the spy, in other words, and he's bringing forward that information to Mueller around this abuse, this greed, this possible money changing hands, and it is going to lead to grief and anxiety, and for Trump and Kushner and those involved in any alleged collusion with the Russians. It's going to lead to loss, and just deepening that is the Queen of Pentacles, and the Queen of Pentacles is the resourceful person. So I think that's indicating the resources that was put into this whole relationship between Russia and the Trump campaign. It was about Russia bringing forward, and others, indeed the Israelis perhaps, bringing forward resources to aid the 2016 Trump campaign. And, again, this Five of Cups, it meant loss for someone. So the truth coming out about the greed and the money changing hands in order for something. This is the Five of Cups, and this is loss and regret and abandonment. So this could very well mean that for those it could be Manafort, but it also could be meaning loss for those players in the Trump campaign who colluded with Russians for a particular end. And again, the Seven of Cups is the card of abuse, I guess, choice, and issues and abuse. And of course, this is deepening if Manafort is the spy here, this is the information he's bringing forward. He's bringing forward information about abuse. Abuse of what? Abuse of, I guess, law, abuse of electoral law, election law, sorry, abuse of power, abuse. So it seems that the information that Manafort is bringing forward is leading to the truth coming out about the Russian collusion between the Trump campaign. I'm just going to, and the abuse, the issues of abuse. And indeed, abuse of law. Abuse of what? Abuse of law. Because collusion with the Russians could be treasonous. So we'll just see, will this lead to charges against Donald Trump Jr. and Jared Kushner? Because that's where my feeling is going. It's going that could be the end result. Will this information lead to indictments of Donald Trump Jr. and, oh gosh, okay, that just jumped out. Yes, it's in some way going to be a completion. It's like the final part in the puzzle for Mueller, and it is completion. It's going to lead to a completion of his investigation. And I asked, will it lead to further indictments for Donald Trump Jr. and Jared Kushner? And this is the card of endings as well. So I would say that at the very least, the information that Manafort is bringing out is leading to the truth. It's leading to the greed. So this is all connected with money. And indeed will be somebody's ending. And I ask this in relation to Donald Trump Jr. and Kushner and future indictments. So at the very least, this is extremely important information that's coming out about abuse and that abuse of power. And it's very much going to cause a lot of grief and anxiety for those that were involved, and it will lead to loss. So, while those reports might indicate that Mueller is winding down and his report will be a disappointment to all, I would say don't bet on it. Why else would Manafort be meeting so frequently with Mueller and his team? And these cards are certainly indicating that there is more grief and anxiety to come, that the truth will be outed and very much reveal some kind of abuse of power or abuse of the law, which leads to an ending for someone or somebody, and could indeed be the final piece in the puzzle that Mueller needs. That's my reading for you today. This is Revealing Light Tarot. Thank you.